All right, that is some important market opinion that we are tracking, and that's everything that we're looking at globally. But let's now talk about all of the cues that you should track as we get into a fresh trading session. We have our research team with us to take you through the trade setup. So Vivek, Vahishta and Nigel all join me now. Guys, a very good morning to all of you. And Nigel, by the way, is joining us live from the National Stock Exchange. So we're very excited to come to you and check out all of the celebrations there, as well as, we celebrate our 23rd birthday. But first up, Vivek, I'm going to come to you. Take us through the cues that we have lined up. The global picture, once again, not looking so good.
Good morning. So what we are looking at is the fourth consecutive lower close as far as the U.S. markets are concerned. So cues coming in from U.S. markets despite strong data indicating that the market handover has been very weak. European markets too followed suit. While the quantum of the fall wasn't as much as the U.S. markets, it's been a negative and a weak handover. Now talking about crude oil prices yesterday fell quite significantly. Brent futures fell over 4% yesterday and was trading below the $80 per barrel mark. So that'll be an important trigger to keep an eye out for. Coming closer home, quite a few important events. The most important would be the RBI rate policy decision, and the outlook and the stance going forward will be something markets will be monitoring quite keenly. Also yesterday, remember, the rupee weakness was something that was being monitored, and today it will be interesting to see the trajectory of the rupee as well. Asian markets too have opened quite weak, and SGX Nifty is indicating a subdued start for our own markets today.
All right, maybe a little bit of subdued start, but let's see how we move from there. Vivek, thanks a lot for laying out all of those cues. But Vahishta is also here. Vahishta, take us through all of the individual stocks that we should keep on our radar today.
Hi, Pavitra. Let me start with Siemens, which has emerged as the lowest bidder for the 9,000 HP electric locomotives project in Gujarat. Next is BKG Foods International, which has reported their quarterly numbers. They've reported a 43% year-on-year growth in PAT, which was led by the operating performance and the top line. The revenue has grown by 32% on year-on-year basis and has come in at approximately 570 crores, as it has witnessed a good double-digit growth in all its categories. 5paisa Capital, the board has approved the merger with IIFL Securities, which means 1 share of 5paisa for every 50 shares of IIFL Securities. Ircon International has bagged an order worth 122 crores from the Sri Lanka Railways, so some positive news over there. HDFC AMC, Arbiton Investment Management has sold 10.21% stake. Also, there have been more block deals which have been seen in companies like Craftsman Automation, Sapphire Foods, Jindal Stainless, NDTV and Veritas India. Back to you.
All right, Vahishta, thanks a lot for that. We're going to keep all of these stocks on our radar. And finally, we have Nigel joining us from the National Stock Exchange, like I said, with all of the cues. Nigel, of course, the biggest news this morning is that we've turned 23. But take us through all of the action in the F&O space.
Well, Pavitra, you said when it's a party, you need to party big time, right? So I'm not staying indoors. I said, let's go out and let's take the party to another level. But in terms of cues, well, yesterday we did end lower with the cut-off close around 50, 60 points or thereabouts. But that's par for the course. Institutions sold 1,100 crores odd, and yet we saw only such a small cut out there. What happened then yesterday? There was some unwinding of long positions, both on the Nifty open interest and the Nifty Bank open interest. So there seems to be some unwinding of long positions, and that's why we did end a little bit lower, coupled with the fact that institutions were sellers. The FIs, well, they unwound some longs as well, and they added shorts. As we've been maintaining, they were aggressively long, which may not be such a good thing. You lack some shorts in the system, and it seems, the wish is coming through, because now the short positioning has gone up to around 38%. Earlier, it was at around 23% at the start of the series. They were buying calls as well as puts, but yesterday they bought more puts than calls. They bought close to around 5 puts for 1 call. So in case things go wrong, there is some protection on the downside. However, what's telling you that at higher levels there's going to be a battle coming in from the bears is that they're writing calls as well aggressively. Which brings us to the active strike. The 18,600 put that was fairly active in trade yesterday. The premium out there has been hovering between 50 to around 70 rupees odd. So the writers out there, they will be looking at that 18,500, 18,550 odd level holding out, which is a crucial support out there. If we break that level, then 20 DMA comes into play. And on the upside, the recent highs, there'll be a bit of a resistance. But as you all have been mentioning, global Q is a little bit muddled. So we start off on the back foot. Buy on dips has worked. Wait buy for the RBI governor, and I think the trend is likely to continue. Back to you.
All right, that is what the setup looks like. Nigel, Vahishta, Vivek, thank you very much for joining us and taking us through this setup as we get into this trading session. But with that, it's time for our first short break on the show. When we come back, the winter session of the Parliament will begin today, so we'll get you all that is on the agenda after this short break.